Welcome back, everyone, to Finding Truth podcast on Unscripted Truth TV. Logan here with Austin, as per usual. This week, actually, quite a few headlines. I don't know if we're touching headlines this week. This is something, this is something that's off and on with our channel. I know we have a lot of new subs, and welcome everybody. Thank you for being with us. It's huge for us to get that jolt that I think we kind of needed. We try not to need those kind of boosts mentally, but it does help. It really does help to kind of see it. Um, so thank you everybody who's new. And but yeah, as for tonight's episode, we are going to touch on NASCAR because I know we have a lot of new subs that have come over here with, I hate to call them expectations, but somewhat kind of an expectation for our takes on NASCAR, which is highly appreciated that people care about our viewpoints on this stuff, which I'll also brag a little bit. We've been kind of crushing it, so I could see why you might want to, especially if you back viewed any of our pretty crazy calls, which should be easy to find in the descriptions. But we've had some banger calls this year, quite a lot actually, and a bit off on this week, but we're going to cover it this week, this week's race, as well as the look ahead to the last race of the season for anybody that wants to get involved with that. Also, keep the stuff coming in the comments. That's really great. I'm not a huge like history buff of NASCAR. Austin is definitely much better but better at those. That's why I think we combine so well. But still, there's more that you guys know about that you guys can give us heads up on. We had some really great comments about things to look out for, even just for us to be able to continue to be able to see through their narrative and build up the narrative up so that we understand where they're going with it, because that's what we're aiming for, is foresight, not hindsight only. So yeah, thank you guys also for those comments. Keep them coming. But then we'll also move into another topic we wanted to talk about. I think it's a kind of a heavy topic, but at the same time, it's one that I think you're going to see a lot more often. And we've covered this in different ways before, but talking about it from like a more pointed standpoint, a topic of euthanasia, which, and not talking about the kids in Japan either, talking about self-deletion, through the state. Um, and where potentially where the voluntary euthanasia might lead laws and jurisdiction for maybe involuntary euthanasia in our future, which I think we all have an inkling where that potentially might go. But there's a couple of key points I want to bring up to do with that, and then we're gonna move into a little bit of a, not so much a channel update, but more like a channel like progress report type of like where we see ourselves moving forward. Also, it's kind of like a semi welcome to all the new subs, which we're super grateful for. Thank you, Zach, for that shout out. That was huge. Also, thank you, King Richard, for being part of that episode. He was great. Last episode was awesome. But yeah, without me yapping too much, I always, hey, that's one thing. If you're new here, you're going to probably be screaming at your TV or your phone or whatever the first 5 minutes of our channel. But shut up! We want to know what Austin's up to. So let's send it down to Austin. How's it going, man?
It's going. Yeah, we're already mid-August, and yeah, last episode was a great episode. It was awesome to have that many people view it and to get the recognition, support, and yeah, big shout out to Zach and a big thank you to him, and yeah, big shout out and thank you to King Richard to come on. He's been our only guest. He's came on twice. Yeah, our only guest. He's came on twice for all our episodes. So yeah, it's been just us for the most part, almost the entire time. So yeah, it was great to see yeah, all the new subs and all the new comments and just the life that last episode brought. It was a great episode. Hopefully tonight and the next week and week after, hopefully we have a nice end of the month for all the people that did come aboard, so people are interested and kind of keep things moving down the line. But yeah, it's great to have all the new people here and see what a lot of people have to bring to the table. Hopefully, we get a lot more sense of community now, and people that do find themselves wanting to just participate more and just come on or talk to us or just get more involved and stuff and just breathe more life into the channel, into what we all got going on. And I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, overall it was been a pretty decent week. There's a few things just going on that I've been kind of dealing with, just kind of some stuff with work and jobs and figuring things out, and just kind of stuff that we'll be kind of somewhat talking about later tonight and the next upcoming weeks and stuff, just where things are going and what's kind of all happening and stuff. I'd say it was a pretty decent week. Few things here and there. I know, like Friday, I was just hanging out with my friend, and like her car thing started on fire and was like smoking. So there's some weird things that have been happening too. So um those
Yeah,
types of
random
things
fires seem to be following you, brother.
yeah, just we're on the way just to go pick up some furniture, pick up a piece of furniture, and it's like all of a sudden she's like, you smell it? I'm like, yeah. I look down to the center console, there's like smoke coming out, there's a fire and stuff, and by the little car port charger thing, so I quickly pulled that out. But yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, and their check engine light came on, so it's kind of one of those weird things that's been kind of happening lately too. But another, I guess, what you could say weird or strange or different um, thing as well was the way the Richmond race went, especially with the winner Austin Dillon. Was interesting too, because I did forget that he won this race last year, but the way he won it, um, they took, I think they gave him his win and kept his win. They may have taken his win away, but they didn't allow him to get in the playoffs with what happened when he think he wrecked like Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano. I know for sure Joey Logano. I think Denny Hamlin too, and yeah, this year, go figure, they give him the win again to get in, and he hasn't made the playoffs in 3 years because they didn't allow him to last year with that win. So he hasn't made it since 2022. And also, I know Austin Cindric as well. He finished in the top five, and I know he won a race this year. So there you have two Austins in the playoffs, which is interesting. And then you have uh, Austin Dillon made the playoffs 3 years ago. Austin Cindric won the Daytona 500 3 years ago. So they gave him, um, he was also in the playoffs as well. So seemingly they seem to like to pair up the Austins quite a bit, which I find interesting. Uh, but yeah, this was kind of, and it's interesting too, because next week is the final race of the regular season for the playoff start. And there's going to be 16 drivers that make that. And um, what I find interesting too is the five of the last seven Daytona night races later in the season have been won by someone who hasn't won all year. It was their first win of the year, so it got them a spot in the playoffs. So very high percentage we have that again. And I really thought that this race, the next race, we would see just that. And we did with the win from Austin Dillon. So you got to think that someone else also can jump up and make the playoffs, the top 16, and knock some people out. So you're going to have some drama and stuff play out uh, at Daytona, depending on who wins, who gets in. And we'll go over that in a bit. But yeah, I thought the Richmond race was pretty interesting. I know we had a couple people in mind, Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski, and they actually both got tangled up in a wreck too, which I thought was kind of interesting how they both ended up crashing. And there was they both still finished. I think Keselowski got a top 10, but um
Yep, ninth. Yep.
yeah, and it was just kind of an interesting race. There was Priest on the pole. I really liked the Fords. I thought the Fords would probably do pretty well and possibly get a win. They haven't won in a while, and trying to see if maybe someone else would get a win, make and get in the playoffs, or maybe they're saving that for Daytona. But yeah, there was some other people too that I thought, based on qualifying, might kind of have a good shot and do well, but overall, it just seemed like it was just themed up to double down and be a repeat of last year, with Austin Dillon. So it just seems like that's really what we were kind of missing. I know we didn't go over the race or didn't go over Richmond and stuff last week, but um, we did kind of have some theories through the week, and it kind of seemed like I know Kyle Busch started in the back. Brad Keselowski started sixth in the sixth car, and it just seemed like there were some other things that other people that they might have a narrative as well. But in the end, it was Austin Dillon for two in a row, and this is the one that matters and counts and gets them in the playoffs.
Yeah, I was gonna say our one, saving grace about what we talked about is as far which by the way, I'm almost happier that we're more on track with the narrative than necessarily the exact driver. Because this is we were talking I think we touched briefly on it last week because we did do a little bit of NASCAR, but we never looked ahead as we had a guest come on. But just having the narrative to assume for several different reasons that a new driver will be winning. It's more likely that new drivers are going to be ushered into the playoffs through these last two races rather than having return winners. Which is honestly, you might say, like, well, yeah, it's so much more likely that a new winner wins every week. Well, yeah, go watch the. We have five race winners, or at least one. I mean, we've had a three-peat, we've had a two. I mean, you might think that. I mean, hell, we got Van Gisbergen and two-peats out here, guys. Come on. So
Yeah,
it's actually, you might look at it. I haven't done the math, but it might even be more likely that a repeat winner happens than not. That's how many have been happening this year. But so yeah, it might seem like common sense that it's more likely that a new winner would win, and that's just like duh type of statement, but not this season. Not this season, that's for sure. Several, the wins have been pretty much spread among the few, and there's not a lot of drivers with wins. In fact, let's pull that up. I just gotta look at here. Let me make it a little smaller. So yeah, I mean, even just taking in the top 10, we were just discussing just briefly before we started here that there are the two zero win drivers. So regardless, a zero win driver is making it in the playoffs. I'm pretty sure. I think unless there is some type of scenario where someone like Ty Gibbs were to no, there's no way. So guaranteed a zero win driver is making the playoffs, but you still have chances from the outside looking in, like Gibbs, the Dinger, honestly, still Keselowski if he were to jump someone like Bush or not Cindric, or Priest, who are just really sitting there. So they still have that lever of drama that they can pull near the end. I mean, even Hosevar, he's been kind of like he's made a lot of news this year without really doing too well. He's been there quite a few times, like close near the end, and just finished poorly even so. So there's a lot of drivers that they can pull the drama lever on and get them in last win. And I would not be surprised that they do that one more time, especially now that we've kind of cemented that idea with with today's race, that they're going for the drama. They're rather than building up drivers necessarily for the. I think they've already done that a lot. With drivers like Denny Hamlin and Bell and Byron and Larson, all with lots and lots of wins this season. So I do think that it's the onus is on them to kind of like add to the excitement with a potential win and you're in, kick one of these guys out for, you know, I, why I say that too is just because like I'm not a huge fan of the sport or anything like that, but I'm just saying from the outside looking in, you'd almost, I think the average fan would almost be geared towards the winners making the playoffs. You know what I mean? I think for the fans, I can see why points matter and all these different things, but look at where they've been going. You know, we're now like stages matter and things of that nature. You can almost see that they want like they want it to be a result oriented, not, or excitement oriented rather than just like consistent results. They want the exciting drivers in. Um, and to build that excitement, generally you want to have these like down to the wire wins and these memorable moments that, you know, things of that nature that build up the portfolio for who they want in their exciting playoff series. Um, so I just from the outside narrative looking in, like Sports Center mind, like I talk about me having, I could see that I could see them pulling that drama lever and who that driver is who gets in potentially. That's something we're going to look ahead to here in just a little bit. But what are your thoughts on this last race with it being at Daytona too? I know you talked about Austin Cindric, I believe he's already
Yeah,
won.
he won Talladega, and he did really well at Daytona. He was one of my picks to win the Daytona. He won there 3 years ago, and yeah, he was he's really good at restrictor plate tracks. A lot of the Fords are. I know Keselowski is. He got his first win at Talladega back in like 2009. So a lot of these guys um have good shots and good chances to win coming up on Saturday. And yeah, Austin Cindric, he's going to be one of them because he led the most laps at Daytona. And was leading on the white flag, led the most laps and was leading on the white flag. And with half a lap to go, he got caught up in that wreck. So yeah, I mean, that was a very close call, being half a lap away and leading most laps. So, um, and there's some other people too. I mean, um, I know even like Austin Dillon's been good at the restrictor plate tracks too. He's picked up wins at like Talladega and Daytona and stuff. So this is going to be a very interesting final race of the regular season. And I mean, for people that we used to watch maybe NASCAR back in the day, I mean, there used to not be a playoff format. It was just uh, whoever scored the most points and whoever was most consistent all year would um, be the winner of the championship. And then they got rid of that after 2003, and then 2004 they created the playoffs. Um, Back then it was different though too. It wasn't you win, you're in. It was just whoever was the most consistent, who had the most points, um, would be in the top 10. So you could have no wins, but just been super consistent all year, and you never have to even win a race. You could win 0 races and win the championship, be in the playoffs. So yeah, and then they used to just have a 10-car field from like 2004 to 2006. It was just the top 10 would make it. Then in like 2007 they made it 2 more spots. They added like 12 cars to the championship. I can't remember if there was ever at one point did they go to 14. They might have went to 14 cars or maybe 15. Now it's up to 16. But yeah, I mean, and it used to be different too. I mean, they would just take whoever was leading the points, and then they just reshuffle the points. The top 10 would make it, or top 12, and then the leader would still be the leader, and he'd have like a 5 point lead, and they just like every position would be like staggered by like 5 points. So like 10th place would be like 50 points behind, or 12th would be like 60 points behind, or whatever. And then it used to be different too. Uh, Now too with the wins, how they do it too. So the leader, uh, if Denny Hamlin doesn't win Daytona, then the winner or the leader of, well, he's still going to be the leader, but it's going to be him and Ginsburg, since they both have 4 wins. They're going to be tied for first.
Oh, I didn't
And
know
the
that.
playoff with the points, because it'll go whoever has the most, and then it'll be whoever's got 3 wins, like Larson, he'll be under them. like Byron will be under them, and then the guys who just got one win will be under them, and then if there's anyone that doesn't have a win, they'll be like under that person, and then if you win, you advance to the next round. If you win, you advance each round, and then if you have enough points, you can also make it as well. Uh, and then the final race, it's just about whoever finishes the highest. I know 2 years ago, every time they've been doing this, the guy who's won the race won the championship. But 2 years ago, Ryan Blaney finished second and won the championship. Ross Chastain, who wasn't in the final four 2 years ago, won the race. So
Mm.
it's just whoever finishes highest in that last race wins the championship. So it's just yeah, it's a lot different than it used to be. There used to be no playoffs. There used to just be, and even when they did add the thing, you just said to still be consistent. It wasn't about the wins, and there wasn't like round elimination stuff like that. And it's just 12 cars battled out for 10 races or 10 cars or whatever. And then now it's totally changed, totally different. But that's just all part of it. Making it more like football or whatever. Got to make it. Everything's got to be the same, whether it's wrestling or football or whatever. NASCAR, they got to make it all the same. They got to make it like other things and always be changing it and manipulating it to get the outcomes they want. It's like when Jimmy Johnson went on 5 championships in a row. I mean, he did it in different playoff formats and different chase formats and different cars and uh, everything they did was just to make sure Jimmy Johnson won 5 in a row. And it's just it's a lot. I mean, it's definitely. I mean, like when you watch NASCAR back in the day, you had Pontiac, you had the Winston Cup. It was completely different to how things are now. I mean, now you watch it, it looks like you're watching um a demolition derby. The cars are just run into each other, smashing each other, banging each other. There's a lot of contact. I mean, it's not what it used to be when you used to watch NASCAR. It's totally changed in every way, and um, yeah, just trying to build excitement and drama, and that's what it's going to be on Saturday at Daytona, and just whatever they decide to do, whoever's going to win, and then they're going to have their 16 people that they want in the playoffs, and then I think there's like 3 races and there's like eliminations, like 3 races and there's elimination. So it goes down to like 12 and then it goes down to 8. And then you'll have your final 4 for the final race of the season at Phoenix. And that'll be coming up pretty soon. That's November 2nd. So it's only 2.5 months away. So yeah, it
Yeah,
won't be long.
blink an eye.
Yeah.
Well, I figure we might as well look ahead. There's lots to take in there. I think there's a couple of leads I wanna chase. The more I was thinking about it too, it's just like I do kind of want to double check on Keselowski. Uh, First of all, I've kind of postulated that it's either there will be some sort of Ford finish to kind of clue people in, or not to clue them in, but just to kind of put the teaser out there that we could get a Ford championship winner for another year in a row, like we've mentioned the Ford Pete. And it's so fitting with Blaney and some of these, just them driving a dark horse. The Mustang just being called a dark horse, and just like Keselowski, and I mean they're all drive the dark horse Mustang. So it's just obviously, if you understand the meaning of a dark horse, it's you you'll see the narrative that they're building this season. Ford has been the worst of all three, by as far as wins and placements and things of that nature. We've been paying attention to the top 5. I'm sure we can go and look. I'm sure they probably have that somewhere listed. Like if I were to look up off of um, makers, manufacturers wins and top 5s. I bet. I think it'd be pretty clear that Toyota and Chevy have severely outperformed Ford this season. So Ford winning the championship would be exactly that, a dark horse. And I've had my, you might just say, oh yeah, you're picking Blaney, blah blah blah. But it's just like he's got his win. He has his win, which that's not much based off of everybody else this season. But man, this guy isn't. This guy has like 6 articles written about him every week. I've been kind of keeping my finger to the pulse of some of the, I guess what would you call it, like I don't know, the fluff pieces, I guess, every week to just keep you interested when there's nothing happening. And Blaney's brought up all the time. He's like a little darling, and I say little because I think he is a pretty small dude, but a lot like Jimmy Johnson. But anyway, so yeah, you might just say I'm picking a top fiver, but there's a couple of reasons why I think that narrative could play here. And he's just, in my opinion, one of the more likelies of the Ford drivers, and it just so happens that he's the only Ford driver in the top 5. Honestly, where's the next Ford driver?
Busher, and then Logano.
Oh yeah, so in the top 10, he's the only Ford driver in the top 10, and so I don't know. I think that narrative is alive. So I'm kind of like keeping my eye on it. All that to say, I don't know if they're going to allude to Ford winning even again. So I almost want to say, because Keselowski potentially didn't get his win last week, I almost think it's less likely that a Ford driver wins this week now. Like, if that narrative's still in play, and I, let's just say 50-50 with a different narrative that we could go with, or that they plan on going with, I think the odds are that they would have Ford be as bad as possible going into the playoffs to make them truly that dark horse. You know what I mean? And I mean, think of the winners. Blaney is a star. Logano's a star. Other than that, who was it? Barry, Cindric, yeah. I mean, not to say that he's not. I just don't think he's a marketable star as obviously as Logano and Blaney. What were the other 4? Do they only have 3 wins this year?
They have 4 because I know
Who else was it?
Blaney, Logano, Barry, Cindric. I think they just have 4.
Yeah, that's it. So I don't know. I think you counted out 4 just now, and I just blanked on one of them. Yeah. You're right. So yeah, they're 4 wins, which is awful. I mean, as a manufacturer, that's awful. Especially with there only being 3 manufacturers, that's a pretty bad ratio there. But yeah, so I think that they can complete that narrative with a dark horse like Blaney. And we've also talked about, like, narrative wise, how they could use Gisbergen, how they propel him into the sea. I mean, you should see it. It's like, okay, if he's always been this good, how come he hasn't been winning any of the other street races up until this year, other than his first one, obviously? If he's but just look at the glowing reviews. I'm Blaney. I think I could pull up an article where Blaney is talking like, this guy's unstoppable. He's the best road course driver I've ever seen. So it's like they're building this character for the playoffs, and we've brought up, obviously there's 2 ways they can go with it. They could propel him even further and have him pick these wins up in the playoffs on the road courses, or they could use him as a prop, as like a villain, almost like an unstoppable force, that when say Blaney wins, it's going to be against this giant. It's going to, wow, he knocked the road course king off. Blaney means business. He is this good. This is how they build these kinds of like portfolios of greatness. We've talked about this several times. I think mid-season we really went off on this narrative, and it's just been proving itself ever since then. It's like, if anyone doubts us, just go back to before Gisbergen picked up a win, and everything after that. Like, we nailed this particular narrative with Gisbergen to a T after his even before we were mentioning it. But after the Mexico race, we were all over this thing, and it's just been proving itself, with each one of his wins. You can tell that they're driving this particular narrative home. Like I said, we just don't know. We're not in the future. We would like to have more foresight about this, but until some other things play out and we can eliminate some certain things, you can't exactly know how they're going to, what narrative they're going to choose. But it's going to be one of two things, and it's going to be what I just described. They're going to either use Gisbergen as a new face to build up a different type of legacy, or they're going to use him in the other direction to use him as like a prop to be defeated. Um, I tend to think the latter personally, just because I think I just have an inkling towards the Ford Pete and Blaney. That I don't know. There's something weird about it. It's almost like that tingling I got about the Eagles last year about early on, early on in the playoffs. I just like I don't know. There's just something. Anyway, I don't want to make it about a tingling. It's not. That's not what we base our shit on. But still, that's just where I'm leaning at this moment. I do think that it is a strong narrative for the Ford Pete. I think that that's kind of like a run on words. I would not be surprised to hear Scott Van Pelt say Ford Pete, and in like just wait, guys. That's why it's so fun about making like some type of speculation. Because man, when that speculation comes through, and I say speculation, but it's like educated speculation. It's not just making random guesses. These are based on context clues that we've been picking up on all season. But when these things have come through, and I swear, dude, I've seen their articles with like things that we've almost blatantly said beforehand, and it just like plays out that way, and it's just like, oh yeah, they were using this race to propel this person or knock this person down. Even I've seen them. That's another reason why I like Blaney, is because they've kind of used the season to say Blaney's kind of underperformed because he's been close on so many races and not finished well. Of course, he's fifth in points, which is great. Like he's not having a bad season. That's not what I'm saying. It's just that the articles I've seen written about him is like he was considered a 1, 2, 3 kind of guy. So even 5 is slightly underperforming. So you never know. It's almost like with, I'm not trying to necessarily compare him to Tom Brady, just the narrative of Tom Brady. It's when Patriots didn't make the playoffs, it's just like, what the hell? Like something's wrong. Just because Tom Brady just had that uh narrative with him, follow him. But anyway, I guess we could look ahead. Anyone you're geared towards starting with?
Um, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's kind of anyone's race, really. I mean, they can really mess up a lot of. I think because right now with the way the play, I think Reddick is the last car um in to make it with wins and stuff. I think Bowman's on the outside looking in, and I know Bowman's Hendrick, and then you got Reddick on the bubble. Will he make it? Will he not? So that's kind of a big deal whether Reddick makes it or not. But Bowman too, being a Hendrick car, so um, Bowman being the only Hendrick car who hasn't won this year, and then of course with Reddick not having a win yet either, and then you have all these other people too that have kind of you got your Brad Keselowski's that you're wondering when he's going to win again, and is he going to make the playoffs? Is he going to be that fifth Ford in the playoffs? Um, Is Kyle Busch going to make it in? Is he going to win? There's a lot of kind of things up in the air with this race. Just how these super speedways. I mean, anybody that can win the race, then you have you always have typically a big wreck, a big crash, and then that could screw some people over. Maybe that's the reason some people miss the playoffs or something. So I do expect a lot of drama with this race. I think there's going to be a lot at stake, and it's hard to really say. I mean, I would like to think that I mean, like I said, 5 of the last 7 times, the person that's won this race, it was their first win of the season, and they got in the playoffs and they were able to pick up their first win of the season that way. And I see that probably continuing. And of course, this gave Austin Dillon a win. So There's some people that there's a lot of cars that have not won yet. And I mean, we could still get people that haven't won and they can win in the playoffs and kind of mess things up too. Uh, that typically does happen, but yeah, I think I mean even like a Ryan Priest, I mean, he was just on the pole for Richmond, hasn't won yet, but we've been kind of spotting him all year too. Like, is he gonna get a win? Is he gonna make the playoffs? So even he is someone that you got to really look at and see does he have I think he's got a legit chance. Um, I mean the
Never
Fords have been
won
really
yet, too. It'd be his first win, so there'd be that would be
yeah
like a huge, they would love that on ESPN.
yeah the Fords are really good at their stricter plate tracks usually, and then I know this year they've been good. So you got to wonder, it's like, is it going to be, is it going to be like kind of the Austin Cindric show again? Is he going to kind of maybe dominate or do really well? I know he's got a win already, but um, yeah, it's a very interesting race with the way they add the playoffs in and all the drama and stuff, all the things that can happen. I mean, of course, that's why they got to do it. It's just gets everybody tuned in. People got to see what happens.
Could be some conspiracy in the midst with that one big 123 in Daytona International Speedway. I did want to bring also that 330. I'm not missing
Yeah,
that either. Um, but I figured, we do try to highlight these things because we do talk about like we tie these things in to, well, really the Jesuits tie it in, but there's been races for Pope Francis earlier this season, clearly. I'm sure that they have been tied to the new Chicago Pope. I would probably be more diligent to compare things like that. So that's somewhere that we can get help from the community as well. But as far as what we do look at, we have almost every single location, we have found the Jesuit fingerprints. And I'm talking about like subdivisions of cities that, through gematria or, just through their history have ties to the Jesuit order and or the Society of Jesus, whatever you will. And this is no different with Daytona Beach, 54, 72, very common numbers with said Jesuit order 54, 72. So I just want to point that out too, that we've kind of, this is it's been more than just, hey, can we catch a sport? We've talked many times about the origins of these tracks. And I mean, because these are massive undertakings, these are humongous things that have been dreamt up from, the early days of automobiles. So these things are kind of larger than life. These tracks have like history that's larger than life as well. And so my point being, the planning for these uh locations was definitely done with, in our opinion and our proof, gematria in mind, and the number rituals involved. uh and this, Daytona, why would Daytona be any different? The founding of said NASCAR being held there. So it's like their fuck. I had a good thing. I just slipped my mind. Fuck, where's the baseball Hall of Fame at? That's what I was gonna say. Anyway, wherever that place is, it's like for NASCAR, Daytona is like
it's a Super
their
Bowl.
hub. Yeah. So let's look at a couple or a few drivers, shall we? And you said, should we take a look at Mr. Cindric?
Yeah,
Interesting.
he's an interesting look. I wonder what he'll do in the playoffs.
He's got that dark horse.
Yep.
September 2nd. He's 26. Oh, if he made the playoffs, he would turn 27. Something to think about.
Yep.
Let's see, September 2nd. to the 23rd, 355 days. Birthday's on the 246th day of the year. That's thought was something. Okay. Let's see his. I guess his last one was just April 27th. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. Here's the Menards driver. That's right. I sometimes forget their sponsors. That's why this site's so good for their sponsors. That it also just showed me like last like it was still Bass Pro Shops. Man, I'll talk as I look, but I looked up Austin Dillon as I was doing a little write up, and I saw a lot more things with Kislowski and Kyle Busch, and I put those things in a community post. But I did look up Austin Dillon, and I even put in Bass Pro Shops, and there was some interesting things with Bass Pro Shop, but I didn't realize he had a co-sponsor in Winchester, so that might be something I go back and look at too. But April 27th is the last win. Should probably just type it in, but I'm too lazy. 118 days from his last win. And Cindric races Penske. Oh, he's a Penske driver too.
Yep. He's teammates with Blaney and Logano.
Yep.
Logano trying to get his 4th championship. Ford trying to go 4 in a row.
Penske Racing. Can't remember what their name is. What is it? Oh, it's just Team Penske. Yeah, that's what it is.
You got Roger Penske, the captain.
Well, Daytona equals 109, like Team Penske. So there's a Blaney, Logano, and
they
Cindric
finished
shout
1-2 before in the Daytona 500 when Newman won in 2008. Kurt Busch finished 2nd.
So there's history of this. That's what they're doing. They're replaying history. So if you know things like that, that's why it's been such a huge like boon for us is his previous knowledge. It's just we've been able to spot some certain things, especially like going back. I feel like you had a lot of key points in the Denny Hamlin almost three-peat. And I say almost three-peat because we call it a three-peat. It never, I think, as it felt more like, holy crap, they might watch our videos and they couldn't have it. Not that anyone like places a bunch of bets because of our videos. It just felt like that because, like, man, he was right there to win the 3rd race. And we called the other 2. So if we called a three-peat, we were flying crazy high. But we did call the 2-peat by Denny Hamlin this year.
Called the Bell 3-peat for sure.
Yep. And man, that was a fun one. And not to mention, if you guys like understanding where how like things play into sports and politics and news and things like that, check out the Chris Bell three-peat. It ended with the Shriners 400. We have such good stuff on that, but like, man, that one was really good as far as like tying in these larger themes to the sport itself. But then on top of that is been, I think the next best thing is William Byron's 2 wins this year. Like, check out our work on William Byron's wins. We weren't able to, they were both hindsight decodes, but we definitely figured out what they were doing. Like, definitively, I will say. He is definitely tied to a certain governor, I'll say, and I'll have you guys to go do a little backpedaling homework on that. But interesting to see if any news comes out of that with that certain governor coming up in the playoffs with good old Byron winning the cup, winning the championship or the regular season championship.
Yeah, I feel like he's someone that I'm also looking at too. I felt strong that he might win the championship in like 2022, 2023, 2024. He's always a threat. He's always in the final four. Um, he's always right there. And the last 2 years he finished third. So I'm thinking, this year I would assume he makes the final four. Maybe he doesn't. I think in 2022, him and Blaney finished like sixth and eighth or something like that, or seventh and eighth. They were they just missed the round of four in 2022, but that was 3 years ago already. But um, I really think that he's someone that I feel like could have a shot to um win it this year for someone that's not a Ford, that's not Logano or Blaney or something. Um, I just feel like eventually he's got to get that championship. I did mention too a while back that 30 years ago you had Jeff Gordon winning his first championship in '95. 30 years later you'd have Byron winning in
NASCAR.
2025. So that 24. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely something to watch in the months, weeks, days, and months ahead.
I would tend to agree. Let's see, what is it? The Jesuit order has the 84. That's not what I'm looking for. Let's look at speaking of Byron, let's take a little look-see at our boy.
Billy
Boy. Billy Bob. That's right. The fat name, William McCamus. November 29th birthday.
Russell Wilson's birthday.
That's right. I'll remember one day. One of these days. From his last birthday, 267 days. Why do I feel like that number's come up before? But to his next birthday is 98 days or 14 weeks on the nose. His next birthday is on the 333rd day of the year. That's why we had a potential call on a Bayern win when it was like it lined up like a 1-1-1, 2-2-2, 3-3-3. That was pretty funny. All right, when was his last win? I lose track of these things too easily. It's just like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago.
No, it must have been a Sunday win. Bad with dates. August 3rd. Oops. 20 days. Well, let's do what might be a little bit easier is to see what, if any, narratives for the win and inners. Let's look at the win and inners. So we can double check I think as far as, honestly, it goes pretty far. I would say even down to Eric Jones, like there's a potential, right? No, they can't make that gap. So really I think Carson is about as far as you can go, right? Maybe McDowell. I don't know. I think Carson's about as far as you can go. From what I've seen points wise, unless they they have to basically dominate from beginning to end, right? To get max points to pass up just on points without winning.
Yeah, because the thing is, there's so many people so far back there with wins. that
Yeah.
all have spots in the playoffs now. So that pushes all the guys out that are better in points and have done better all year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Reddick is the last car in right now. I think he's sitting 16th. I think he's the last car. And I think Bowman's on the outside looking in right now.
Let's look at the NASCAR site because they probably have like a playoff picture, right?
Yeah, they for sure will after Daytona. They'll show the 16 cars. Um,
Let's look at. Odd that they do it in this format. Like it's kind of hard to follow. It's not intuitive. At least it doesn't seem like it's intuitive to me. Uh,
yeah, it'll look completely different in a week when you see
yeah.
the.
So for now, I think this is just easier for me to read personally. So because Reddick's doing like crazy with points.
Yeah, and to think he might not even make the top 16. He's 7th in points. I
So
mean,
yeah,
that's
let's
crazy.
see. No win, 3, 4. Yeah, there's 5 no wins in the top 16. And then we start with Barry, Gisbergen, Dylan, that's 3. I think that's it. So the furthest 2 are in trouble, right? So Kyle Busch is definitely in trouble. He could easily be passed by a Gibbs or a Dinger or a Keselowski, right? And lose his spot
Yeah, I
straight
think
up.
Kyle Busch is on the outside looking in right now because he's not even going to be in it unless he wins. He's in like a must-win situation.
Oh, that's right.
Mhm.
That's right. I'm forgetting that Priest is in through points. Yeah. Never mind. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, you're right. So Bush and Priest are on the hot seat because Bush can be easily passed with points. And if that so there could be shuffling. Point is there could easily be shuffling here at the bottom. Um but I guess that's easy enough to just start with a Ryan Priest. Let's take a look at Ryan Priest, Mr. He drives for Ream, a water heater. I was like, where do I know that name? Took me a while.
Bell drives the Ream car
Oh,
too.
Bell drives the no. Oh, did they both? Or I might have just been Christopher Bell. I, I'm tripping. I could look though. Who does Priest drive for? He hasn't won yet. I forget how to look at sponsors. Anyway, I'll see. Where's my boy Priest? He pulled really well, but he finished kind of poorly. I think I got past him. No. Yeah, he finished almost at the back of the pack. Poor guy. Ryan Jeffrey Priest, October 25th. Honestly, I don't remember ever looking this guy up. But he has another winter birthday, another theme that we just, if you guys do your own, like looking into things, just look at how many drivers have winter birthdays. Maybe it means nothing, but like, damn, it's almost every single one. It's crazy. They're few and far between that have any other season birthday. Pretty crazy. So 63 days from his, no, that's to his next birthday. 302 days from his last. His birthday is on the 299th day of the year, obviously. He's 67. So And he has not won this. This does have an interesting narrative. Not to mention, he does race for RFK Racing. I have looked at him up because, yeah, I've seen that before. So interesting. It's semi interesting. You know, Trump did the inaugural pace car. You got the RFK Racing. It
Yeah.
could be a bad sign too, where maybe they're talking about the elder RFK and he's just gonna die out this season or get knocked off, if you will.
Yeah, it's interesting. He was on the pole in the 60, and then he got Brad Keselowski in the 6, qualified 6. So, and they're both teammates. He got the
Oh,
6.
right.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at good old Riot Grease. Oh, what do you know? I got that 56, 52,
NASCAR
even
56.
yeah, exactly. Even the 160 in numerology, NASCAR's 106 with like 16, just like 160. It's a little of a reach, but full name
95.
95. Let me just make sure I spelled Jeffrey right.
It's like Jeff Gordon won the championship in 95.
Michael Jeffrey Jordan. It's just his surname. Sir. That 52, like his full name as well with the 110. It's weird how that plays out as well. When
Yeah.
people's names match up like crazy. Like take Gibbs. Like a full name and just Gibbs. 30, just the 33s in there. Speaking of, take a look at our boy. Oh, I did want to point out one last thing with some hindsight about Austin Dillon is I did look him up. I did run numbers on him. I didn't see any like birthday numerology type of stuff or anything like that. Obviously, we've admitted to, we were missing that detail about him winning last year. That would have been we've seen things like that, and that's kind of, especially during Denny Hamlin's tear, we were noticing a lot of play in his former wins up into his more recent wins. But for those of you who don't know, he is the grandson of the famed Richard Childress. So
Yep.
just more of that nepotism, and
That's why
it's
he's in
really,
Earnhardt 3.
oh, good point. Good point. Yeah, that's something that you definitely bring that knowledge to the table a lot better than I could ever have. Those are great points. So yeah, April 27th birthday.
Same day Austin Cindric won. So Austin wins on Austin's birthday. Austin
Yeah,
won on Austin's birthday.
that's a good point too.
I think
Wow.
I can't remember if we called that back when
Did we talk about that when Cindric
we
won?
might have we might have missed that one. That because it was my birthday on the 29th too. That's the funny thing. Mine's on the 20th, and Dale
Yeah.
Earnhardt was born on the April 29th. I'm born April 29th, and Chad Little was born April 29th, and yeah, Earnhardt, they retired the 3 and then they brought it back, and look at the guy who is in the car, Austin, and that's the mockery. You have Austin, and I was born the same day as Earnhardt, and the guy they bring it back is with Austin, and his birthday is 2 days before mine, and then you have Austin Cindric winning on that day.
What do you know?
That's how they do it.
Let's look at a little tie. Just looking flabbergasted here.
Yeah.
October 4th.
10-4.
That's probably not an accident.
No.
42 days, 6 weeks on the nose. Okay. He's another who's never won a race yet, right?
Yeah, he won them like that $1 million this year though. He won the brackets. He beat the field. He beat out everyone in the brackets. He was up against Ty Dillon to win it. It was Ty Gibbs versus Ty Dillon, and he beat Ty. Yeah, it was Ty versus Ty, and it wasn't a tie.
Yeah. A clear winner in the tie.
Yeah.
In the tie off. And I guess he wrecked with Tyler Reddick, huh, at Richmond. Interesting.
Yeah, he did.
But yeah, I mean, I mentioned nepotism, and it's in full effect in NASCAR. I've seen nothing but it. But obviously, if you guys aren't aware of the Gibbs name, I say it with because I am aware of it. But famed NFL coach Joe Gibbs um, owns this team, so that's his grandbaby, Miss Little Tyler. Let's see. Let's do his stage name. Let's do a slave name. Oh, slave name's 42, huh?
84 like Austin, 42 like
True,
Austin.
just like Austin. True, but also it's 42 days from his birthday.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
don't
could be
count
a
out Ty because he's been kind of not doing so good the last few weeks. So
that
there
could be a
might be a
fun
reason.
gift.
Yeah.
And we definitely talk about these owners, and they're more than likely secret society ties, if not Masonic. If it's not obvious to others, everyone with them hosting the Shriners 400 and everything like that. But also just the Masonic. I mean, look no further than uh, the other Hamlin. Who is the? I already forgot his freaking first name. Damar Hamlin. The clear Masonic ritual they did with him on the field during a game, which was all the rage. So it's like he obviously coached in the NFL, and we've seen clear Masonic ties, especially with Gibbs. I mean, his name equals 33, two different ways, um, lots of different things. But yeah, could be some nepotism, heavy nepotism, getting his boy in there.
He does drive that 54. Don't sleep on the 54.
True. No, I was gonna skip right over that, but yeah, 54 has been. Not only just to Daytona, but
Yep.
keep in mind Daytona Beach, Florida, 54.
Yep.
Jesuit Order 54, of course. Um, yeah. Let's see if it do they go by Monster Racing? I believe they do, right? When they sponsored drivers, isn't it called Monster Racing? Could be wrong. Maybe that's more specific sports, but it's funny. Monster Racing 66.
Yeah.
Oh god, dude.
You got the 78. The 156. Then you got 66. You got 666 right
They
there.
do have that. You're right. That's pretty. Not that they set up this calculator, but still, it's worth noting. But yeah, the 78 for Jesuit as well, Jesuit order. He's only 22. Is he the youngest driver right now? I think he might be.
Yeah, he might be.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I think Village is 3 years younger than him. You got all these young
yeah.
guys.
Which also is their season over until the playoffs? The Xfinity.
I think they have I looked at their schedule. They have this week off. They're
There's like
not.
a bye week.
Yeah, they got a
Okay.
bye week. Yeah.
If that's just a bye week, listen to me, bro. If anyone thinks that there's a coincidence to him breaking his collarbone before a bye week, so he has the chance to recover, dude. It can't be more obvious. It cannot be more obvious. I mean, we talked about this last week briefly, but yeah, that's definitely, in my opinion, a shaming ritual, and probably more than likely a show of solidarity to more than likely the Masons or whatever fraternal secret society that these people sign up in. But he's so young, and yeah, they're definitely inking in blood with that whole collarbone breaking thing. If did you watch it? I think we might even played the replay. Maybe we did. It seemed like something you could easily stage, and yeah, it probably hurt, and he had the risk of a concussion or landing wrong and cracking his skull open, but he didn't. And he did just, there's no proof he broke his collarbone, by the way. You can say
Right.
it's not like it was sticking out of his coat. But yeah, honestly, it looked staged. I could bring it up, but I think we'll move on. Dude, anybody check out the Xfinity series, Zilichich crashing or getting caught up in the netting of his driver window. It looked almost like he stepped into it on purpose and then had a chance to like catch himself, but like flung himself forward.
Yeah,
Anyway,
the fall was that was the thing. I mean, because he said too his car was wet or he slipped or something. They got the roof wet or whatever where he stepped into, he slipped. I mean, it definitely looked like the fall itself, him falling, they got that part. I don't know if, like you said, like that was exactly the way he was supposed to fall, or that he was supposed to break his collarbone, or did he really break his collarbone? There's all these things that, I don't know. Was he supposed to like break his neck? Was he supposed to like get a concussion? Was he supposed to crack his head open? Was it supposed to be worse? Was it not supposed to be that bad? Was it supposed to look different? Um, that's the only thing. You just, whenever those things happen like that, and yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, it's just one of those things where you see it, and it's just. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just like the Austin Dillon thing. He won Watkins Glen the year before, and he that was the only win last year. That was for his 7th win. He 6 wins this year, won last year. His 7th win, his first double down. He wins 2 years in a row at the Glen, and with the SVGs and all the 88s, and then he wins in the 88, and he's got to fall off the car in the most weirdest way you can. I mean, can't make it up.
it's definitely interesting. It's hard for me to take anything at face value, especially something like that was like all the headline shot. I mean, it's like even as good as he's been doing, it's been for the Xfinity, so it's not like he's like some household name yet. So it's like things like this are infamy is just as good as good old fame. So
Yeah, and the
even like,
funny thing is, he was supposed to be in the Cup race too the next day. Yeah, I
oh
guess he
really?
has a I guess he has a Cup start. I think he might have raced at Infineon or Sonoma. Uh, when he beat SVG there, he might have raced in that race too. I can't remember if he did, but I think this was like going to be his second start or in the Cup. I think he was going to race the Glen until he got injured, got hurt. So they had to get him out, and I don't know who took over his ride, or they put someone else in. But yeah, I thought that was very interesting too. That and not only does he beat SVG in both races, the guy no one can beat, he beats him in the minor leagues, but then he was also being Cup again. So I don't know if he has any more Cup races that he might run this year. I know they got the other road course he might be a part of or something, but we'll have to see.
Let's see. I could have just clicked on any of them. Tripping. Do they lump them all together?
Look at his average start and average finish 7.4 and 8.8. Oh my God. 8.8, 7.4. You can't make it up.
Beautiful.
That's too good.
Good catch. Great catch, dude. Wow. There's a potential that he doesn't race again too if he's recovering.
Yeah, and I the other thing too, I forgot to mention fucking SVG, that was a record last week. 4 wins because it's supposedly his rookie year technically, because I guess the last 2 years weren't full seasons or whatever. So like this is his first full season, so this is technically his rookie year. But
setting all sorts of records.
yeah, because Tony Stewart had 3 wins, like 2 poles, and like a 4th place points finish, I think, something like that in 1999. And I think that was like one of the best rookie seasons. And then yeah, he's got 4 wins. So yeah, and he might even get 5. So
I don't know if
with
they
that,
just don't track it well. Or I cannot find if Zilich was in a cup race. I don't know. Not clear. Not clear. So Ty Gibbs has a couple interesting notes. I mean, I could see him. I could see him shoehorning this little fella in.
yeah,
I think that'd be exciting. They've obviously showed it's something every sport's going to do is they're going to propel their young talent and give them a reason to win later in their career based off of their performances from the past. They'll harken back to a win. If he wins this week, they'll say, "Oh yeah, look at him. He made the playoffs. He was able to do well this season," and they'll be able to compare it to other seasons. It's all like portfolio stacking. That's what all like sports are. It's really what it all is. It's exactly what it all is. It's crazy that you take away the flashiness of the actual game and it's really just indexing. It's like history indexing. It's I hope people understand what I mean by that, but it really is it's boring at the end of the day, but they flash it up with flashy headlines and flashy things. But really what's really truly going on is like a cyclical pattern that is just, it's not as entertaining, let me put it that way, unless you're into like doing taxes or something. Uh who would be next? Gibbs has a chance, I think. Uh, let's check out the dinger. I've just for
yeah, he qualified second for or there was like second or third for um Richmond. Yeah, he was doing really good. So yeah, he's someone that been around quite some time. He's been around since 2007. So
wow, quite some time indeed.
yeah,
Let's take a look at his portfolio. Yikes, 3 wins. Oh, interestingly enough, one of those at Watkins Glen.
yep. I was gonna say he's good at the road courses. Yeah, all of his wins I think were on road course. Yeah, they're all
Looks
on the
like it.
road course.
Yep. Okay.
And the 2014 one was in the 47 car.
Before we switch to the 16, which is interesting for other reasons. That 1-6 seems to show up a lot. Let's look at let's see, December, not to mention his birthday's the 16th.
Yeah, he started with the 84 car. I think Vickers was the 83 Red Bull. He was the 84 Red Bull, I believe.
Oh, all men dinger. Sounds like a good time.
The Dinger.
The dinger. Anthony James. I mean, NASCAR, 106. It's not like I just said 106. Anyway. Yeah, interesting. Drives the 16, got the NASCAR 106 connection. What's his little fancy name here? The dinger. Oh, 54. What do you know?
Oh,
153.
45, 90, 153.
Jesuit order. Fun nickname. All right, let's look at his birthday. It was December 16th, right? Yeah. A winter birthday? No way. All right. From his last birthday is 250 days. His birthday is it's near the end of the year.
Breaks down at 25, like it's 2025.
True. $115 till his next birthday. 16 weeks and 3 days, like 163. Feel like it's one of those numbers I just need to remember what that means. But no, I've seen that before. Can't remember where. 115. What's since his last race? Let's go look. October 8th is his last win. It was in Charlotte, October 8th, 2023. What about the anniversary of his last win? 46 days. Interesting. Well, that's enough out of him. Let's see. Who all was it? Let's see. The Dinger. You can double check Keselowski. It's another Saturday race, so a couple of things I brought up still stand with, Saturday equaling 53. I guess that maybe had more to do with the location. Yeah, maybe it had more to do with the location. Let's take a look at Bradley. What a stud. February 12th.
Got his first win at Dega in 2009. Might be able to get another one on another super speedway.
192 days. His birthday leaves 322 in the year. That's interesting. Let's take a look-see here at his previous last win. I think I have it on that write-up I did, but I guess I'll just do it real time here. May 12th at Darlington. In the 6 he now drives in. What was that? 2024, right? Yeah. So 66 weeks and 6 days.
Oh man.
Wow. That'd be a great capper to the.
Is he going to qualify 6 again in that 6 car?
That's a lot of 6s, brother. That's a good amount of 6s. Well, that's something to note. With it being just as maybe like an offshoot mention. Saturday. Let's see. Where was that? Yeah, Saturday has the 109 like Daytona as well as what was it? Let's see if it's in my write-up. Oh no, it was his full name that had to the race last week. Okay, I see. I was thinking of his full name. No. Let's type that in. What about just his His slave name. Keselowski. Does have that 55.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But it's just a surname. 129. Interesting.
60. And they got the 39, the reflection of 93.
We're just talking about Saturday, like Saturn 93. All right. Just waiting for something to pop out at us. I think, as far as just points wise, one of the. I guess we can see if maybe Tyler Reddick just kind of like makes it easy on him.
Yeah, Bowman too. Those are two guys to really look at.
We'll look at
That's
Bowman
where
next.
that's going to be where the fight is. That's where all the drama is going to be with these guys because these are the two cars you got to watch.
One like 4 weeks. Yeah. Yeah, he hasn't. October 27th at Homestead. $300 days even. Here's the last win. Actually, he has 8 wins. He'll be looking for his 9th win. And his birthday. Where's our boy? No, pretty poor race. And there's a lot to Tyler Reddick as well. I mean, just as well as the drama at the end of the year, like right now. There's also the drama with the whole 23XI and the lawsuits and things of that nature, which we've covered pretty extensively, especially during Denny Hamlin's run. It was it played quite often with the whole Michael Jordan. We were able to tie Michael Jordan into it multiple times. Let's see, January 11th, 111. 224, 32 weeks on the nose. Tyler's 55 too. What's his full name? Oh yeah, George Costanza.
Big George.
Okay. Interesting. Let's take a look at our boy Bowman. Alexander Michael Warren Bowman. It's like, holy shit, guys. Chill. April 25th, very close to April 27th. Well, there you go.
Yep.
April 20th.
Another Taurus.
120 days since his birthday. It's pretty interesting.
Illuminati, 120.
Yep. To his next birthday. 8 months, 2 days, 35 weeks on the nose. 2 months, 2 days, 35 weeks on the nose. 8 months, 2 days, 35 weeks on the nose. 8 months, 2 days, 35 weeks on the nose. 8 months, 2 days, 35 weeks on the nose. 8 months, 2 days, 35 weeks on the nose. 8 months, 2 days, 35 weeks on the nose. 8 months, 2 days, 35 weeks on the nose. 8 months, 2 days, 35 weeks on the nose. 8 months, 2 days, 35 weeks on the nose. 8 months, 2 days, 35 weeks on the nose. 8 months, 2 days, 35 weeks on the nose. 8 months, 2 days, 35 weeks on the nose. 8 months, 2 days, 35 weeks on the nose. 8 months, 2 days, 35 weeks on the nose. 8 months, 2 days, 35 weeks on the nose. 8 months, 2 days, 35 we 35 weeks on the nose. You got not Saturday. Anyway, Alexander. One there too. What was his whole freaking name? Let's look at his slave name first. Is that 52, 160 like that? 16 ever prevalent. That 1-6 combo Nascar loves so much. Alexander Michael Warren. Alexander Michael Jordan. Like, bro. Can't type either. Another 129 for the books. At 201 base 8. Okay, let's take a look at our boy here. What's Bowman's career been like?
He's got some wins, but he's always kind of that. He's always kind of like the worst guy at Hendrick, but you never know. I mean, he used to. He was winning a little bit more like some years back, but
Yeah, 2021 he had a pretty decent season, 4 wins.
yeah.
July 7th was 7-7 was his last win. He's also another guy looking for his 9th win. Something to think about. He also used to race the 88.
Yep.
And he's now in the 48, which are, when we talk about Trump a lot, but let's see. July 7th. And that was is that last year? Yeah.
Yeah, it was last year.
412 days since then. Last win left 177 days left in the year, like the Jesuit order equals 177. Could have just been the ritual for that day, to be honest. Oddly enough, like not a whole lot's just jumping off the page. And that could be, unfortunately too with this too, it's just the late in the week polling really does put a wrench in our efforts sometimes, because clearly it's been the story has been at the polls for several races. But it's still nice to have kind of like nice to be in the driver's seat. I could just make these references all day. As far as the narrative, to kind of understand how to read the polls sometimes when there's not something that jumps out at you. Of course, we can be easily missing things. Really, all we've done so far is compare birthdays and last wins. So there definitely could be something. First of all, who won last year at Daytona? The last Daytona. Off the top.
Honestly, I can't remember. I forgot about the Austin Dillon win at Richmond, and I forgot about last year at Daytona.
Was it Busher? He has one there, but no, not last year.
Yeah, he won the Glen, yeah.
2 years ago. Wait, was it Cedric? No, that was the inaugural Daytona, right?
Yeah, that was 2022. That was
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was on Kurt Cobain's birthday. And he almost won on my birthday.
How do I do this? That's not what I want. What do I? You're not gonna tell me who won? Yo, I guess maybe looking
It
up the
might tell
date.
you if you click on it. If you click
Yeah,
on
I
it.
know. I just figured it would. Harrison Burton. Is that right?
Oh yeah, Burt and Kyle Busch was that. Yeah, Harrison Burton. Yeah, Jeff Burton's kid, and it was a Ford. Yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
Ty Gibbs was fifth. Yeah, I remember it was something like it was something like that. That's what it was. So you had Austin Dillon who won that should have been in the playoffs, but they didn't let him, and then Harrison Burton won. Then he made the playoffs too. So can't remember what they did with I think Austin Dillon, they still gave him the win, but they just didn't put him in the playoffs. And you have Harrison Burton win and put him in the playoffs. Yeah. Like I said, I could easily see something like
Curious.
this happen again.
Curious about our boy Harrison here.
The Harry son.
Just the Harrison has some interesting numeros there. That's his surname. Wait, didn't he drive the? Anyway. Huh. Okay, so somebody who's out of the circuit won last year. So I guess that drives now has won it last. Busher.
Yeah, I probably have to go back to 2023 or 2022 to see. Like no one ever
Yeah,
remembers the second race. They always remember Daytona 500, but they don't remember.
yeah, Busher in 2023. All right, let's. Keselowski finished second there. Ooh. Yeah, let's take a. Did we look at Busher so far? I don't think so. Let's quickly look at him and then potentially move along here. Oh, his last. Oh, yeah. Did we look at him?
I don't
September.
think we did.
Yeah, I don't think we did. It's just a lot of people winning at Watkins Glen that we look up. Might be a connection there. His last win, that was 2024, right? Yeah. Last win, 342 days. 11 months and 8 days. Hmm. Might have been somebody's name that I'm thinking of. What's our boy's birthday? Yeah, I feel kind of bad. I'm kind of dry. It'd be crazy if Stenhouse were to pull it out in that 47 too.
Yeah.
Something I've been thinking about for a while. He's definitely, you wouldn't see that coming necessarily.
Yeah, he's good at the super speedways too. Anyone can win these races. So I mean, you got a lot of people that have a shot.
Got another William in Busher here. Let's see, October 29th. So many Octobers. Spooky. Let's see. 298 days from his birthday. What about to his next? 67 days to his next birthday. Like ritual. Well, let's just for posterity. Let's take a quick. Well, let's see what is his name looking like. Biueshicher. Oops. 66. Got that 78. 138 like Donald Trump, or which form of Trump is it? Yeah, Donald Trump. All right. As far as our boy Stenhouse. Ricky.
Got 4 wins.
Last one being at Talladega. There's one. Oh, wow.
Yeah, all super
pretty good at
speedways.
Daytona.
Yeah. Yep, all super speedways. 2 Talladega, 2 Daytona. Yep.
Wow.
2 in the 42 and 2 in the 47 as well.
They even misspelled third on this race. Fifth thread. Fifth thread, huh? Okay.
2 in the 17 and 2 in the 47.
That was that last year. Yeah.
Yep.
321 days. Of course, if you include the end date there, it's span of 322 days, like Skull and Bones. Interestingly enough, wonder where all these people went to school. I bet that plays a factor as well. Another layer to these. That I mean, because obviously every other sport where they went to school matters. Their college. So it's interesting to think maybe we're missing a layer of tomfoolery here. Yeah. Well, let's see. Last thing to do is, I'm guessing his name is Richard as well. Oh yeah, Ricky's got that 33. Just that whole combo there of numbers. 95. I guess you could spell it out too. Let's see what was.
Yeah, it was dating Danica or whatever too with Danica, so it's kind of he's got his own little.
You dog.
Story.
Got that dog in him.
He's got it with that 47 on his hat.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Plain as day, if you could say. Oh, he works for Hayek. That's like a tire manufacturer, right? Or maybe no, that's Hankook I'm thinking of. Richard Lynn Stenhouse.
I forget what Hayek is. Yeah.
Well, this is that 109. Like good old whatever it was that we were looking at. Let's take a look real quick just for Hayek. Oh, geez. It's just a racing group. Oh, Doherty. I know that name.
Brad Doherty.
Gordon Smith. You can't have too crazy. Your name's got to stay within a realm in racing. You need a Chase. You need a Gordon. You need a Jeff. You need Richard.
Speed. Lake Speed.
Like Speed. Here comes Chase. He's chasing Speed.
Oh, there was a Scott Speed too. I think Scott Speed. I think he was in there too.
Here's Carson coming up on Van Gisbergen. Like, Jesus, guys, come on.
Here comes Trucker.
Oh, they're technical alliance with Hendrick. So, I mean, you could tie in Hendrick to Stenhouse then. Interesting. All right, well, not very gleaming. We had a good conversation about it, but man, I feel like this could be another poll sitters best guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
Couple
qualifying
interesting
is
things.
always interesting with these super speedways because it doesn't matter where you qualify, but I mean, just they're obviously gonna. I don't even remember where Austin Dillon qualified, where he started at Richmond, but yeah, you always, I'm sure it'll play a role. I mean,
I think Chastain's win definitely.
yeah,
They definitely use those pole seats. All right. Well, there is something else that we want to talk. I know we went on a little bit longer. It's the last race of the season. We want to try to be thorough. It'd be better for us to catch something. If you go back and look at our videos, it's not that going back is as exciting when we're trying to talk about next week race that hasn't happened, but we have caught that spark on quite a few races and been able to instantly catch wind of the narrative. Of course, take everything we say with a grain of salt, but we have been tracking this narrative that we did mention earlier. This never mind the post play or the post ending of the season narrative, but this whole idea that we could be looking at a fresh face winning for multiple different reasons, which we've covered. So there's that to look at. Ty Gibbs does have a little funny little narrative there. There could be more to it as well. We did just see that, of course, Stenhouse has nothing. He does his best tracks are Daytona and Talladega, and could be his way in with that 47 car. Look at
yep,
the emergence of Gisbergen in the 88 and this, Trump doing the pace car. I won't go too far into it, but 47, arguably one of the larger numbers surrounding Trump, not just for his presidency number, but anyway. So, which is funny because we just had our What is 47 episode too. So, anyway, we'll move on from NASCAR. Please do, guys, leave us any hot tips in the comments. It's not like we're some like Patreon that not hating on this either. I'm just saying, we do this literally for the love of the game. It's been honestly a blast. It's been a blast, Austin. I've had a lot of fun with you. I've never thought I would ever view NASCAR in like a positive light. Not that I thought negatively of it. It's just I since I've been awake and like foregone all sports, I never thought that NASCAR was so far down the list. But it's been a lot of fun being able to kind of read into this thing. It's like I don't look at it as a sport, by the way. It's not that I'm like looking into the excitement of the sport. It's fun being able to like break down these narratives and truly, really pin the tail on the donkey on these jackasses, if you will. Uh, so I think we had a very successful first season ever doing this. I think you could easily say that it was a success with how many straight up calls we've had, not to mention the extremely close calls and the narratives that we've not only been able to glean, but also the narratives that we've exposed through this season. So it's been fun, dude. Look forward to the playoffs too.
yeah. November 2nd will be here before we know it, and that'll be the very end of it. So yeah, only about 2 months away. So yeah, that'll be here in basically like 2 weeks at this point. So yeah, it's coming up quick. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, interesting. We'll have to watch and see how watch the 16 go down to 12, go down to 8, to go down to the final 4, and then see who's all going to have a shot there at Phoenix. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
I'm excited. Win or lose, we've had a great season. I still think we have a hot shot for our more prevalent narrative to play out. It's just something about it. It just seems so likely to me. I don't know why, but we'll see as it goes, and we'll continue to comment on it. But as I alluded to in the intro, this is more of like a I don't know. I don't know how to put this. This is just something we make a lot of we like to make our comments and our opinions known on all sorts of different trending things in society and sometimes politics and sometimes just whatever it may be, whether it's plane crashes, this and that and the third, or it's just a like I said, societal trends. um but one, I guess you can call it a societal trend as well as a scientific trend, is pushing this is moving towards this idea of like a necessity to kind of take seriously the idea of removing yourself from the pool. And that's putting it nicely. Um, what I mean by that is there's several sciences, I guess you could say, or several pushes. We could talk about the Bill Gates TED talk where he mentions depopulation. Of course, you're going to get certain people who are, a lot of people just say they're trying to be edgy. Not, it's like the the elderly version of edgy, where they just talk about basically the necessity to never mind never mind it's funny that it's always like an older person too. It's just like, I mean, really, if we're really talking about that, like, what a sick idea that like an elderly person, not elderly necessarily, but an older person is wishing other people's lives to be shorter. It's like, how sick is that? It's like you got to ride the ride 3 times longer than everybody else, and you want them all to get off before you do. It's crazy. But, of course, you got Bill Gates, saying we need to lower the population and can do a great job with vaccines and this and that and the third. But this movie, Humane, it really exemplifies that idea. I haven't watched it yet. I've saw a little teaser about it, and I've read the synopsis, and I could read the synopsis for you guys. It's a pretty quick synopsis. I don't want to necessarily spoil the movie, but it doesn't seem that good, I'm going to be honest. But it's more about the point. Let's say just the quick synopsis here. A global environmental collapse forces world leaders to take extreme measures to reduce Earth's population. And this movie just came out last year in April. And I haven't heard anyone mention this particular movie. Of course, there's lots of different movies that can be pointed out. There's the Obama movie, I can't remember what the hell that one's, but there's, Utopia and the remake and things of that nature, all that had kind of like either there was, you know, whatever it is, it's the sick version of them just like to rub it in our face on top of the fact that we have to live through it. They'll also give it to us in our media as well. This is just another version of that. But on the topic, not necessarily the movie, maybe I'll have a better something to present if once I end up watching it. But just the idea behind it, it kind of bleeds into the next thing I want to talk about too. An article about euthanization, and that's kind of where I want to go with it, because there's like physical euthanization where it's like you're actually doing it, you're taking yourself out, and then there's also, which means like state assisted, same like a vet would do a dog. Um, but there's also the like non-physical. You could look at today, people today, and you could almost see a euthanized population. There
Oh,
might as well be, it's almost zombie like, if you will, and that theme is kind of prevalent in a lot of zombie movies too. But yeah, I want to get get you started in on this whole idea, and then I'll bring in a couple of articles and things that are more grounded in the physical science aspect of it to kind of show you where policies are headed. But what do you think about that idea? I know we've talked about things, we've been around this topic. I think we've even touched on this exact topic, like when we talked about the suicide pods. But as far as like the non-physical societal euthanization, and as far as how the powers that shouldn't be kind of push that idea on us, whether or not there will ever be a machine mainstream for us to go use, that's still something they want us to do. What do you think about all that?
Yeah, I mean, this is something where it's like you look at everything going on. I mean, you have the AI, you have everything else right now that's coming about, and um, we're at this weird point where, and we're just talking about this too before the show tonight too. Just where we are with and as a society, we're at that cusp, that breaking point where um people, and I've talked about this a lot on our shows and our podcast about just about how we're being phased out. We're being in way more ways than just one, but um people like us are just we're being squeezed out. We're getting cut off. We're having nowhere to go. And it's just we're the ones that are really in danger. And we've talked about this too before tonight as well. Before the show, we were talking about just how these people that, like, especially in the last 5 years since COVID, um, the people that just have just kind of gone their own way and done their own thing, and they've decided that they're not. They're just going to do whatever, and they've kind of just gone along with the agenda, and they've fallen right in place, right where they needed to be, wherever they want them. Uh, these are the people that are going to be their standing army, and with their standing army at the end of the day, and then it's going to be um, people like us that are purged off first, whether it's on the internet, YouTube, or it's going to be, if it's not YouTube or the internet, it's just going to be in real life. It's just the stuff I've been going through too lately with jobs and bureaucracy and just other weird stuff that's starting to kind of multiply and spread around. And I'm just kind of looking at it too, and I'm just going, okay, well, where exactly are we? Know the um the new ID, the advanced ID, and all this stuff coming out and being pushed and trying to be mandatory and all these other things right now. And you got to look at, where's AI going to be next year and the year after? It's going to be completely different. I mean, these advanced IDs, these, all these IDs that are coming out that are being pushed. I mean, everyone, yeah, just all this other stuff they're doing. I mean, they're just making everything, just so they have 100% total control and just so much locking down of people. And then you have, and you got the other people that, um, you do have people that have been zombified and been beaten down, broken down, and busted up by the system, and they don't. A lot of people they're just so tired of this place they really don't want to be here, and they don't. So a lot of people are going to be down for the suicide pods. They're going to be down for um, leaving this world behind and getting out of here because they hate this place. They don't like it. They don't want to put up with it anymore, or they're just in such a spot where they just had everything taken from. Maybe it was like the weather warfare. Yeah, another perfect example. They look at Derek, the guy that made the Gemachinator. I mean, he's got the GoFundMe thing going on there, the Help Derek thing, because of the weather warfare hit his place there in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, there, and
Great
flooded
point.
them out and stuff. And that's going to be part of it too. I mean, you got people that lose everything. You got so many people just doing bad in a bad spot, and everybody just struggling. I mean, so you're going to have uh, that want to die and suicide and just get out of here because they're just living a miserable, shitty life. And um, Yeah, that's the multifaceted part of it. Then you have the people like us that are coming on here, doing the videos, going out, pounding pavement, doing things, and actually trying to fight against system and make a difference and be of the opposing standing army. And then uh, the answer to that is they got to either delete our channel or delete us or censor us or take away our money, our jobs, force us into you got to have the new ID or you can't work or you can't make money or you got to have all your vaccines or you can't provide for your family or whatever it's going to be. I mean, they got the route for us too. So yeah, we just find ourselves in this. It's a great falling away, but it's on all fronts. I mean, the depopulation. I mean, you got people that obviously because of the state of the world and the financial situation and all that stuff. I mean, they're not um, having kids and starting families and stuff. A lot of people can't do that anyways because they don't have the financials. Then they can't find the right people, and you got just other people that are just they have a bunch of issues and problems, and they either want out or they're either going to go to the opposing standing army. They're going to join forces with the evil people ruling over us, and so you have this so many opposing views, and yeah, and it's very interesting right now where things are going to be by the end of the year, a year from now, 2 years from now, because we are at the point where things can't continue on um, the way that they have continued on, and you hear it all the time. You're going to own nothing, be happy, but to me, I still stand by. That's not like uh, something where it's just by this time it's gonna. I just feel like they are closing in and putting the walls around you. I mean, 4 or 5 years from now, I mean, um, yeah, you probably won't be able to work anymore. You probably won't be able to go in the store no more, provide anymore. You won't be able to have a job. You won't be able to do this anymore because you got to have the ID and you got to have all your vaccines and you got to have this, you got to have that, and that's just where it's going. I mean, they're just phasing people like us out, and that's just what I see the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I mean, you're gonna own nothing, be happy. It's just I don't see that so much. It's just like they have to find ways to just completely shut us out, shut us off, and you've already seen that with you look at, like I said, Trump's first term. I mean, with the what they've done to the internet and YouTube and social media and all the platforms, just completely censoring it and shadow banning it. And you can't find videos, you can't get views, you can't do anything, and they've made everything so difficult. And you can barely even have a voice anymore. Now they're with AI and all the stuff they have. Um, and I know too. I mean, even you brought up the email that we got too, just a few months ago, couple or last month, um, about this stuff too, and how now on YouTube it was just I think it was just this week or it's this month. Whether it's this week or it's this month, they're rolling out the you got to have your ID for YouTube. You got to have your age verification, and it's not. I mean, they can just sit there and say, "Oh, well, this content is for children." I mean, because it's not even like they go off of what your age is. If you show them your ID, anyways, is they just go off of whatever they want it to be with the manipulation. They could say this content's for 10-year-olds, for 5-year-olds, and you can't have a channel no more. You can't do anything anymore. I mean, that's just where it is, where it's going, and it all ties in with the depopulation, everything, and then getting rid of people and phasing people out and people not having kids and not starting families. And yeah, it's a very multifaceted agenda, but I do believe we are at that point where it's about to take a major massive turn, and it's probably going to be the point of no return because like I just say, I mean, this stuff just can't keep going on forever. I mean, you pin people down with weather warfare, you pin them down, you take away their jobs, their careers, their money, you take away everything. Well, now people have nothing, they have nothing to live for, so they're either just going to want to just commit suicide, or they're going to want to go out fighting, or they're going to want to do something else. So I mean, this is just all done by design. It's all part of the great work. And yeah, unfortunately, we're just watching it rolling out right now, and it's picking up steam, and it's something I think that I think a lot of people, it's just under the it's under the radar. It's flying under the radar. It's under the surface, and I think that um, in the upcoming weeks, months, and years, this is going to be where a lot of people find themselves. They're going to find themselves on the outside looking in, because either they didn't want to go along to get along, or it just got to the point where AI took their jobs. I mean, I just don't even think it's just AI taking your job. I think it's a lot more than that. And I think even AI is everything that's coming and is advancing right now. I mean, all this stuff is uh, it all goes hand in hand with other things. I mean, you look at the internet going away, and then that's gonna, yeah, who knows what's gonna happen then. And I mean, you have so many things right now playing out, and then with the so much push for getting people to either commit suicide or just die off or whatever too. I mean, there's going to be a lot of things for that. I know, even like I know in like the state of, like, I know Washington, Oregon. I mean, there's laws where you can like pay someone to kill you, or you can have someone like kill you, do like assisted suicide or whatever. So I mean, these things have been around and been pushed, and it's yeah, it's going to be another way, because I mean, a lot of people, that they're tired of suffering, they're tired of the bullshit. They don't want this to continue on. And with things just getting worse, I mean, at what point do people finally break? At what point do people finally snap? And I think that is where we are and where we're going. And I think we are about to see. I mean, I can't imagine where we are in the next few months, or in the next couple of years. I mean, as things are going to look so different, be so different. And yeah, it's just we're at that last call to reach people. We're at that last call, last moments to do things. And I think that people that, I think it's so big for people to um, try and get off the internet right now while you can, and still do things in person, and just try and break away from it. Um, and I know it's overwhelming to a degree, because like I said, even the things I'm going through right now, I mean, I don't know what my future looks like, and where my jobs and careers are going, and what even a month from now looks like. What do weeks from now look like? Where are things going? What's going to happen? There's all this uncertainty, and then there's all this weirdness going on, and it's obviously it's obvious what it is, but what will be the determining, like, it's just like so many people with this idea, and this YouTube, because it's not even going to be YouTube, it's going to be everything. And then I mean, people just have to push back and get pissed off. But a lot of people, I mean, it's just quietly, everything right now is just quietly flying under the radar. I mean, everything is just, I mean, it's like we're 1 mile from going over the cliff, and we're driving 70 miles an hour, 75 miles an hour, and there's no brakes, and we're full throttle, and this thing's going off the cliff. And it's just like no one sees it coming. And something at some point very soon is going to have to give. And I think we are at that breaking point. We're starting to see it, but I think that people are just going to have to catch on and just call this stuff out. I mean, it's just going to be more people are more active and pushing back against this stuff. I mean, there wasn't enough people pushing back in 2017 when they did the big purge and the internet, the big censorship thing, and now it's a million times worse, and they're about to kind of take us out and finish us off. And people just gotta rise up about it and be pissed off and not take it anymore. I mean, I don't know what it's going to take for a lot of people. I mean, it's so ridiculous as it is now, and they just keep coming up with new rules and new laws and just changing things by the day. And um manipulating everyone's background in life and just their position. And I don't understand how people have allowed it to get as bad as it has and to let it drag on. But um, people just got to stop dragging their feet and just put their feet down.
I completely agree. I guess what I will say in response is that, and it's unfortunate, is like I think the average person, rather than use this as fuel and get pissed off, like you've mentioned multiple times, that their direction to point these things at is way off. And a lot of times it ends up being self-deprecation and a la suicide pods. People don't need a pod to do it. And you see extremely higher rates of, at least since it's been a tracked stat, um in recent years for sure. And like you've mentioned as well, the falling away, and these are all things that you can easily see anecdotally. This isn't something you have to rely on a article about or a study. These things that go outside and you see it. um and I think it's just one of those, and you're completely right too. It's like we're crescendoing 100%. We've talked about the pendulum swinging. Well, people have no idea that we're on the upswing now. They would, they do a fantastic job of tricking you to, these doomers to think that this is the worst it can get. Oh hell no. This is the best it's going to be for a long time upcoming if we don't step in front of this thing and do our best to stop it. Because and not necessarily stop it. That'd be great. That's, I think, rose-colored glasses at this point. I, not to be a pessimistic or anything like that. I just, it'd be one thing to see it. It's not what they push in the media, and it's not like I'm some media junkie, but even in my own life, it's, then again, I will say this: I have great neighbors. I've moved recently. I have great neighbors that, they all have different opinions, but they're great people at the end of the day. What they do, what they think is different than what they do, just like all of us. And what they do is stuff that definitely things that I can align with, and they're industrious people, and they're, family oriented. So like all those things are actually very positive to see it, because I come from a place in Portland, Oregon that was, oh boy. Oh man. The exact opposite. So but having, in lieu of these suicide pods, and these things are going, they're not supposed to be going live, and these people are under heavy scrutiny. Even the co-creator, or maybe not the creator, but it was like the president or something like that of this particular brand, or they still have not been allowed to go yet, but they said screw it and they allowed an American lady to go down to Switzerland and take herself out. And so now they're facing all sorts of litigation, but this is going to be those. I've talked about this so much. These types of things have to happen. They have to happen in order for them to write into law. This is how they go by things, is by laws. It's not by what you think. Like, think Roe v. Wade and all these things. All these big time laws and lawsuits and court cases, these are all to set a precedent. It You don't know what this is going to mean. This court case right now, you're not going to see the effects this year, or maybe even 10 years from now, but they will harken back to this court case, the whatever happens out of this court case, to litigate on another case in the future. And so that's how all these things work. They build and they index off of their old things, and they, just you wouldn't be you'd be surprised. You'll be in court and you'll be like, it'll be something that you deem as simple, and out of nowhere they'll say, "Oh yeah, well the 1848 case of of Bagwell versus Monk said blah blah blah," and you're just like, "What? What are you talking about?" Yeah, they haven't changed the law since this law. This is the law on the books. And it's like, not even lawyers know all the laws. It's an impossible task. It's purposefully impossible. For you to know all the laws would be throwing your life away, because it's like, what the fuck are the laws there to begin with? That's not what laws are. Laws are innate. A law is an innate truth, not some government. And not to say I'm not some like super hippie that thinks that we could do this thing without laws as we understand them. I agree that laws need to be in place. That makes perfect sense to me. It's just not, as it is right now, does not make perfect sense to me, not at all. Especially as someone who's been through family court. Nah, no. But back to the key uh whatever what we're talking about. These sarco suicide pods. These things have been kind of like sprinkled into our our frame of thinking, whether or not it's been movies. Have you ever seen the movie Children of Men?
I don't think I've seen that one.
I always highly recommend that movie because it's another one that's just another one on the list of like it's almost uh They Live ish. It's definitely darker and like more gritty, but it talks about its whole thing is a humanity that's dying off because like everyone has become infertile. And what has been on the, microplastics, this, testosterone, this, estrogen level, this, uh, UV radiation, this,
Yep.
just think about all the different ways they're telling us that we're not only do they have us mentally infertile, if you understand what I'm saying there, nobody wants to have the kids to begin with. We're mentally checked out from pr- putting our species forward. You're not ever going to catch monkeys that are just like, I don't want to. You know what I'm saying? They have to. They know that they have to. But we are just like, nah, it's good. And this goes back to when we were kids. From the time we were kids, they've been telling us, our generations, and I know we're a little bit separated, but I'm sure you could agree that we're overpopulated. We got way too many people. There's
Yep.
way too many people. Well, you know what you need to do? You need to drive across the middle states and then tell yourself that.
Or just
And
drive out to the central or half the state of Washington. It's completely empty.
exactly
I mean,
same idea. Exactly same as Oregon. Um, Space is not the issue. Space is the issue when everyone piles into the coastal cities. Of course. And I think that that's been a relative issue from the dawn of industrialization. Since that became a thing, like look at, I think that was Rome's issue as well. It's like, and in comparison, that's way less people, but still, that's still an issue that becomes a stacked issue that things like homelessness get put further back, and when you don't keep track of something like that, it festers and becomes the biggest problem that you have. But still, you think, anyway, I could talk, we're not talking about civilization rises and falls necessarily, kind of, but as far as euthanization, you have movies now that are pushing it, and not now, for a long time. But what I'm trying to get at here is there's going to be this push eventually. Oh, speaking, so I'm so scatterbrained. In that movie, Children of Men, what they end up doing is they give you like an at-home pill that you can order it and you can go out peacefully with your loved one. And the world's dying. So it's like there's no hope in this movie. People, it's not like even like on the TV they're saying there's any hope. They celebrate the youngest person every single day. Every single day they celebrate the youngest person because he's the last youngest person. He's the last person to be born. Um, so he's like a celebrity. uh, but I mean, it's that's not out of the realm. That's where we're headed. Like the themes of that movie was it's what's hilarious is everybody still works their jobs. Everybody's been knowing that they're just slowly dying and declining, but everyone in the western sector of the world, this takes place in like England, UK, or somewhere over there. But everyone still works their jobs. They're still pencil pushers. They're still typing on computers, and the whole world's just gonna die. And they're still just punching numbers. It's so good, dude. But yeah, it's one of those commentaries movies that it's like you watch it and it's an entertaining watch, but then you think about it and it's just like, holy shit. Like that's definitely us. They've definitely been kind of programming us to be these exact people that will allow this to happen. And you, like you said, it's going to get to a point of no return. And obviously, it feels like we're already there. But I mean, there's going to be a legitimate camel's back breaking moment for sure. And, yeah, it could be something major that happens that's out of everybody's control. Sure. But do you have that community set up? Do you have those plans with people? Do you have, do you even have the desire to continue? And without that desire to continue, this plan's not this plan's going full force. And with the way time's been going, just flying by, it and like I always say too, a lot of where my gumption about this comes from, not everyone I expect to care about this as much. I can see how people fall away. And trust me, I'm not just sitting here up on a high horse saying, "Oh, you shouldn't. There's so much to live for." I'm not going to say that to anybody, honestly. Um, I tell that because what it is, it's you. What you have is what is to live for, and what you put out into the world. And if you don't believe in that, I can understand how you could fall away from this crap that has been presented to us. And you mentioned earlier too, I think before we started that it's like people will tell you that the life is what you make of it, and how that's kind of like, yeah, that's a rose-colored glasses sentiment because you can do, like you said, you could do your best at everything, and still the world can screw you, and you had never had any control over it. I agree with that, half of that, and then the other half of it is the part I instill in my children, that they are like what you have inside of you, that is what's left. Don't ruin that. Don't let them ruin that. It's like you get enough people that believe in that sentiment, then something can change. And it might not be the world, but when the world resets, there will be people that left that have that sentiment, and it won't just be a wipe. What we're looking at right now on average is a wipe. There's not enough people even wanting to have kids, let alone continue their own life, let alone instill in their kids hope for the future. It's always just do the same thing I did or worse. And I mean, and I'm talking about even things that people you would deem successful, athletes and their kids, things of that nature. Oh, look at them. They're out there doing things. And in certain ways, yes, certain ways they are making things happen. They're if in a perfect world where in the background it wasn't melting away, yes, I would say yes, these could be successful ways to live. But without any knowledge and without any foreknowing about what's coming and how to deal with those things, it's all kind of useless. It's like when you're drafting your post-apocalypse team, you don't need a bunch of third string cornerbacks. They're not going to help you till that, maybe grunt work in one way or another. That's not what I mean. But just like, you don't need a stock ticker. You don't need a a stock analyst. That's not really going to help, and I'm not just trying to shit on every single job. I'm saying like still work your jobs and everything like that, but it's like every day each day push forward, it just feels like we're getting closer to this inevitable truth that seems obvious, but you have so many people that are either okay with it or don't know about it or don't care about it. And in a way, that's what I'm kind of alluding to, is that they might as well already be euthanized. And in a way they are. Like I said, there's like a physical euthanization, and then there's a mental one.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, it is like what I said earlier tonight. It's like I say, life is what you make it, and I see it like it is half true. It's like, yeah, you can do your best, and you can do everything right and still be wrong because they can make everybody miss. And all the only thing at the end of the day is all you can do is all you can do, and what you do and how you try and bring your stuff to the table. But I mean, there are, it is pretty much what. Uh, the elites, people up top, what they want life to be, and that's that statement too. It's kind of like that old saying, if there's a will, there's a way. I mean, and now we're kind of seeing too, for like kind of the first time in human history, it's not really that true anymore, because I mean, you look at the people up top, you look at what they're doing, you look at what they're pushing. I mean, you look at the way things are going, and just each and every day, and how things are just rapidly changing. And you just the thing is, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we've both been around for 30 plus years, and um we understand, we see things are always changing. I mean, uh there's so much going on that's not even noticed, not even talked about. It just goes right under the radar, and it blows me away that, and it is going to get to that point where it's like, um just what do you do? I mean, it's just like, life is what you make it, but what are you going to do when it's like, you have to have the new ID to continue on to do things, when you have to have all your vaccines, when you have to be, you know, voting for some stooge or something. I mean, what it's just getting to the point where the last little bits of freedom and hope and things that we have are just dwindling at a rapid pace. And um, there's just not that many people that at the end of the day are really going to stand against it. I mean, most people are, like I said, they're about money, they're about materialism, they're about just things that don't even matter. And then this, you got such a few amount of people that really see life for kind of what it is. But um, I mean, like you said, to your point, I mean, most people that they aren't in position to, like I said, get married, have kids, start families, and a lot of people can't afford it. And it's just, you don't have a lot of people that are going that route. Most people are alone today. They're by themselves. They're not really around others or talking with others. They're not out and about doing their thing. They're just kind of to themselves. So you have a lot of that. So, and I just see, one of the biggest things that I just see with all of it is just, there's so much just, unfortunately wasted potential in this world. And it's honestly just, most of it is just the world. I mean, and how it is. I mean, there's people that have so much potential to, do things, to do amazing things. There's so much a lot of people can do, but because of the way the world is, because of the way it's run, because of where things are going, how bad things are, and all of that, it's just, I mean, people aren't living up to their full potential, and a lot of it stuff's being pushed back, and then people are getting older, they're getting their 30s, their 40s, and then your potential is pretty much gone at that point. Because when you're old, your 50s, 60s, you don't got no potential anymore because you're old, and your best days, your prime's behind you. And um, that's another thing I just see with the agenda. It's just waste of potential, and I just I think that's going to be a huge, that right there could easily be our downfall too, because there's just so many people that, and there's people that do understand and do see that life is supposed to be so much more than this, and we're supposed to be doing so much more and living for so much more, and it's not supposed to be like this, and we're not supposed to be living like this. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that just, I mean, there's not much a lot of people can do, and the ones that like people that want to do stuff, there's not many of them, and most people are just kind of alone. They're not really linking up with other people. So it's just a lot of people are just aging fast too. So I mean, you just have this massive wave of just kind of wasted potential. It's people that it could be doing and so much more, and could be living for so much more. But I mean, just because of the way the world is, the way things are, I mean, things are just being taken away by the day. We're losing things by the day. And it's just, it's not what it used to be. I mean, like I said, how many times on here, I just go back to like how life was just 9, 10, 11 years ago, when I was, 19, 20, 21, my late teens, my early 20s, and even like from like 17 to 21, 22. I mean, it still felt like there was so much, and just so much possibilities and potential and all this stuff. And just the way the world's gone, the way things have gone, and just the great falling away, it's just like you just see all that just dwindling away. And it's just getting to that point, it's just like what is another 5-10 years of this? Where really are we? I mean, and do we even want to? I just think it's getting to that point that they're going to make it to the point where you just don't want to be here. I mean, that's just where it is, and it's pretty much there for a lot of people. But they really want to crack down on that. They want to make life just so bad, so miserable, so shitty that if you're not a millionaire, an elitist, if you're not one of them, then you can't even live and do anything, or you got to try and get out of the country or something. I mean, you got a mass exodus of people right now. You've never had more people leaving the country than now. And you got people trying to get to Mexico, and they're trying to push the ID down there for 2026, trying to box people in. And so you just have a massive amounts of agendas going head to head right now. And then, like I said, too, I mean, even like that email we got too on the channel just not long ago, back in like July and stuff, I mean, we don't, like I always say, I mean, the internet at some point is going down, going away, and you just don't know how much time you truly have to, make videos, make content, get things out there with the way things are going in AI right now with the advancements. It's, the advances it's made over last year and what it's going to be 2026, 2027. I mean, and with age verification, with YouTube, what they're starting, I mean, they're just, I mean, if I think this is right here, if this doesn't get pushed back and this doesn't get, because this is good, like I said, it's not just going to be YouTube, it's going to be everything. But if this doesn't get pushed back, there's nothing with this. I would think it's got to be pretty much over, because I mean, we're barely hanging by a thread on YouTube as it is. And like when we were talking too before tonight too, I mean, we have, a lot of our videos, what have they been? They've been in the teens, they've been in the 20s with views, so it's not like, I mean, we've had two big episodes that blew up. Episode 16, I don't know if that was mainly bots or even what that was. I mean, hard to say, but whatever that was, then, we had, of course, last week, those being our two biggest episodes by far. And that's just kind of it. I mean, if it wasn't for those two, there really wouldn't be much. But I mean, you can just see the suppression and how much it's picking up. I mean, it's just picking up steam day in, day out, and you don't know how bad or when it's all going to come to an end. Because at some point, I mean, they do have, I mean, the internet, like I said, I mean, it hasn't been around that long. I mean, I was born right before it came out, and just you look at, we're at 20 years of YouTube, so um, we are just coming to that point where things are changing once again.
Yeah, and it's definitely a sign of the times, and it does kind of give off that whole get with the program, or be stuck on the outside looking in. And that that choice for a lot of people is, it's a lot harder to choose the fight back path, the one that like puts you in a place of adversity, rather than either acceptance or just let go. Just let go of everything, or just rather that or accept it, more than to actually push back upon these things. But yeah, this is the email we got, wanting ID verification. They allude to that we've never had any kind of strike or anything like that, or not even a warning. But they allude that we've lost certain features, um, potentially due to what we talk, the content of our channel, or because I haven't provided video or ID verification, which is like, what do you mean? Like, to restore access, you can build positive channel history. It's like we've put out ever since we've made this channel, there's been a new video every single weekend for 40, this will be 48 weeks straight. I've never got it. We've never gotten a strike or any kind of warning or anything like that. So it's interesting. That underlying like compliance ask of them, or just simply, to get us off your backs, just give us more information. Just give us those can I see some ID? What are these, police?
Yeah.
What is this anyway, uh yeah, and aside from all the I don't want people to think of this as negative too. This is our commentary. It's not like we're some like doomers that we're just we're not checked out. We in fact this is like it's catharsis, and it's like therapeutic in a way, as much as I hate that word nowadays, to explain our points of view. But not only that, it's kind of like a wake up call, kind of, and slash call to action too. And speaking of, I'll throw it out there since we're talking about this and you just mentioned it. And I already did mention it, but I will say once again, thank you everybody for the big influx of subscribers and people willing to comment and engage with us. And I'll repeat myself if I haven't already said this, but we're not fishing for views or fame necessarily. The only thing that comes with fame that we've ever discussed is some form of notoriety, so that when that day comes, we have something to, you know, link up with people still. It's just like that's why we talked about doing, man on the street type of things, or, different versions of videos, even if it's just us hanging out, or us obviously pound and pavement would be awesome. But in order so that you can, build those personal connections that don't fade away with something like the internet being gone. But as it stands, we do heavily appreciate all of the support, and we, even though we're not in the position to ask, we still will. We ask that you not for us necessarily, not just for us, and I know this might sound cheesy, not just for us, but also for yourself, you know, pull yourself out of the comfort zone, get involved with the community, whether it's Zach's channel, our channel, anybody, any surrounding channels. Uh, get yourself know we want community. We want people to join us in discussion, whether it's in the comment section and on our email, or potentially joining our stream. And we've thrown this line out there for months in a row, and yeah, we caught a big one. We got King Richard, twice now, which is awesome. He's, I mean, that's awesome that we even have that avenue, and that we all kind of have that same frame of mind when it comes to building this community. We talked a bit about that on the last episode, but it takes the village, and right now we don't even have a village. We need, right now we're trying to form a village, and like we've mentioned, it was a huge boon to us. It's a huge boost for us to be able to see it. It's not like we're sitting over here down in the dumps because our views have been so low. And it's not about recognition necessarily. It's about just community outreach, community as a whole. And, a lot of our discussions have been like, what can we do moving forward? It hasn't been some like downer, sadness, just a cloud over our head mood over here. But it has drawn into question what we need to do in order to reach goals that we both have. And but either way, once again, thank you, Zach, for the huge shout out. Thank you, King Richard, for drawing your crowd, and also being there for our one of our bigger episodes, so that people get a good representation of our channel for sure. um and yeah, I hate to leave it at the end. That's why I alluded to it. Hopefully you guys stayed for your gracious for our gratitude here at the end. But I'll let you have the last word on it, Austin, and I think we'll end up taking off.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I'll say it again too. Yeah, thanks to Zach and King Richard and everyone else that did sub and leave comments and likes, and people that did come across the video and got involved and stuff. I mean, that's huge. I mean, we've almost been on here a year. That's that's big, and that's coming up here at end of September. I think September 22nd and the 29th. Those were our two Kurt Cobain episodes from last year. We started off with that.
Classics.
Um, yeah, those are classics. So you're going to want to check both those out. And obviously, all our other videos are very interesting too in different ways. talked a lot about Nirvana and Kurt Cobain in different episodes, so you'll find more Kurt Cobain Nirvana stuff and other episodes as well. If you watch them, I kind of sprinkle Kurt Cobain Nirvana here, Kurt Cobain Nirvana there. So I do and other things too. Um, but yeah, it's yeah, big shout out to everybody and a big thank you because we've been on here for almost a year and it's been a year since we met up there in Portland with Zach and yeah, and that's just the thing. I mean, I think a lot of people have forgotten about that. It was so long ago already, and I think a lot of people forgot about. I mean, I pounded pavement with Zach 5 times, but people forgot about 2022. They forgot about 2023, 2024. I mean, a lot of people forgot about uh the start of the summer, midsummer, spring already. I mean, we're almost to fall. I mean, it's crazy. Just how fast time's moving and just all the things that are happening and yeah, it'd be nice to possibly do something here in the upcoming weeks. Maybe we'll pound some pavement or do something, depending how things play out. There's a lot of things kind of happening right now, and it's hard to really make predictions or make a call on anything. But yeah, I mean, if we did pound some pavement or something, maybe the next few weeks or something, early September, we might do something or meet up. So that's something to just keep in mind for people that are looking for something other than just us um doing videos and just talking on here and stuff. I know that'd be intriguing for a lot of other people too. So yeah, that might be something we got coming here. But yeah, I think yeah, I just think we're just at a big point, and I think we're just at that point. I mean, we're I think this winter, I just think it's gonna be an ugly winter. It's gonna be a bad winter, but I think that um there's going to be a lot of changes, a lot of things happening, and we're entering kind of that second half of the 2020s, really at this point, going into the later 2020s already as we approach 2030. And yeah, I think people just it's kind of coming down to the wire now. What people are going to do? I mean, are we people going to push back against stuff? Are they going to come together and do things? And um, I think that's really what it comes down to because. Like I said, as great as YouTube and the internet is, I mean, it's so hard to really do anything and get things out today, and it's just getting to the point where it's getting away, and we got to get back to basics and get back to doing things in person and meeting up and just like you said, networking and taking care of each other and um, there's got to be more emphasis on that because you never know when you're going to be like Derek, like Zach said, who's going to be next. We don't know. I mean, it could be us, could be anybody. You don't know if it's even going to be weather warfare. It could be anything. I mean, weather warfare is just one of the things you got to watch out for. Now look at Derek. Gets his house or home destroyed and now is in a horrible spot. And how many other people have been involved in stuff like this and like I said, it doesn't have to be weather warfare. It could be anything. You never know when things are just going to switch up or change out of the blue. And now you're in a bad spot or you lose everything. And that's just, I think that's where the war is going to be won and lost. I mean, are we going to take care of each other? Are we going to, have, you know, peace and love and kindness for one another? Or are we just going to just not take care of each other and just be just let everything just slide and fall and just become worse than it already is. I mean, it's just kind of I think the decision point a lot of people have to make, and there's not a lot of time left either. I mean, we're coming to a big head here very soon, and um, yeah, I mean, it's hard to say right now with the future. A lot of things are up in the air, but um, yeah, I'm just hoping that things work out the next few weeks and few months, and yeah, hopefully we're still banging these out one after another for at least the rest of the year and stuff, and see how things go and see how things change. But yeah, be great to see where things go now, since I know we got a lot more subs and people that have come across our work and our videos. So I'm excited to see where that takes us here to at least kind of end August and stuff. I'm excited for the future, at least in those regards. So it's nice to see and nice to have that momentum, and just overall, it's a very nice feeling.
I second that. And yeah, I think that's a great place to end the episode. And I will just end it with a quick plug. Not really a plug, but um, little ticker at the bottom has our email. It'll also be in the description. Feel free to hit us up for show topics, criticism, suggestions. If you want to join the program as well, everything else, feel free to leave us in the comments. However else you want to get a hold of us. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and we will be here next week for Big 49. I'll push to that 50.
Yep.
Have have a good one, guys.
Peace.